Man, it's so much going on. What I like this week in particular, can't be in two places at one time. So obviously we're going to be here in the podcast with you guys, chopping up and teaching the greater Houston population what's going on. But we have a staff member that's out at the Port Houston. They're doing a tour of the port this morning. So I've been getting texts all morning about how that's going and whatnot. And we're auditing their Port U course as we speak. So it's good to have somebody that can represent the brand, go out there and really show an example to the people that, hey, Coach Austin can be here on the podcast. I can do other things as well. We have a class later on tonight, as a matter of fact, teaching about business certifications and things of that nature to show us how to be credentialed properly. In our businesses, it's one thing to have an LLC, but to have that credential and put you in places where you wouldn't normally be is phenomenal. We just wrapped up an actual Austin Business Strategies course teaching how to do the whole Chat GPT situation. AI is out here and there's a lot of information out. So it's like, how do you make a business strategy model to teach people how to use Chat GPT in your own businesses? So we're getting that out, hired on a marketing team to help us promote this brand. So a lot of internal work for Austin Business Strategies, man, and turning up the analysts that we hired on 3 to help us with the business acquisition piece. Because we're going to be not just talking about acquiring businesses, but we're going to be acquiring a few of our own before the year is out. So a lot of good things going on with that, man.
You mentioned the Port of Houston, man. For those in our audience that may not be aware of how much business is being conducted out at the Port of Houston, could you just quickly give them a small snapshot of how much is really going on at the Port of Houston that small business owners who aren't in the know have no idea about?
Man, it's a gem that when you really see it, the Port of Houston is, a lack of a better term, a state-sanctioned, it's its own city. Has its own fire department, police department, healthcare system. It's its own entity. So imagine just like the city of Houston is very big and robust of its own. You've got $63+ billion in gross revenues coming out of the Port of Houston by itself. It can sustain itself by itself. So the amount of business for it, not just trucking goods in and out of the port. No, there's trucking opportunities for just cleanup, maneuvering goods in and out of those different shipping containers. There's real estate going on there. There's catering services going on there. There's healthcare going on there. There's real estate development from drywall to plumbing to low voltage. The Port of Houston has an enormous amount of business that goes on. And the only way you know is to attend the Port U, follow us, of course, because we're going to start shining a light to what we can get involved in there. And there's a major need for small businesses, especially minority businesses, to get over there and see what's going on. And when you see trucking, you wait, hold on. It's not just trucking like I see trucking on the roads. No, it's much broader than that. And I'll be going on LinkedIn with Natasha Buckner to have a lunch and learn to discuss those niche opportunities that are wide open and they're asking for us to be in there.
And you know, Coach, I'm getting older, so I got to make sure I heard you right. That was billion with a B, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A very B is in boy, B is in billion, B is in booyah.
I mean, because you said it was a self-sufficient entity. They contract out with small businesses, but to understand that there are tens of billions of dollars in revenues that's going through that port. And to a certain extent, there are jobs and contracts available that they don't even have small businesses to service for them. So yes, that's why I urge everyone in our audience, reach out to you directly on Instagram, reach out to you at Austin Business Strategy, sign up for your Port U course, because I feel as if there are so many members of our audience that can take advantage of those opportunities and provide quality service to the Port of Houston. So let's get some of those tens of billions flowing this way for everybody in the Prime Real Estate Network audience, man. I think that'd be outstanding.